Joining PCG made a lot of sense for Stratton Craig. We've worked really well with Black Sun for years and years and years, but joining the group just makes the whole thing so much more seamless. You know, instead of having that sort of client supplier relationship, I can just go on Teams and I can ask a question about what's going on with the project. I can get a really quick answer, and it just makes us feel like we're all part of one team, which is a really refreshing way to work. And when we look at AI, I mean, for Stratton Craig, this technology is basically redefining everything we do, and that's the same for the companies across the group. But the pace of innovation is it's so startling, and it can feel a bit overwhelming, especially for a small agency like us. We've all got day jobs, and we don't have as much time as we'd like to maybe focus on technology like that. So being part of the group just puts us in this conversation with other people who are coming at this problem from different ways and approaching it with their own experience and mindsets. And that has been really invaluable for us, I think. Just being part of that conversation, it allows us to, contribute with our own expertise and it also allows us to help shape the group's strategy and direction. But it also gives us access to technical expertise, different perspectives, and levels of sort of focused, targeted support that we just wouldn't be able to get otherwise. And myself, it's been really cool to work on some of these projects across the group, just working on things that I wouldn't usually get a chance to work on. So it's been really, really refreshing and exciting. Well, I think Changemaker culture, it aligns really closely with the way Stratton Craig works. And I think, again, that makes us, what made us such a good fit for PCG is that the cultures are already quite aligned, and it's about bringing out and emphasizing what we already do well instead of trying to impose something new from the top down. And there's a couple of different ways that works. So like learning and growing together, whenever I speak to anyone from across the group, there's always this drive to push things forward, to sort of challenge ourselves to do better and, to grow and develop our skills. And again, with AI, you can see that in terms of that we're all learning about this technology together. And we're sharing our learnings, we're sharing our successes, we're learning from our failures, and we're really collaboratively figuring out the best way to utilize this technology across the group. But you can also see it in things like shines. You go on Halo and there's just a list of people celebrating each other's accomplishments and shouting each other out. It's just a really positive thing to look at. You can see that so many people are working hard across the group and achieving great things. Another area that's really good is just that being collaborative and transparent. Like I said, just being able to talk to people about projects, it just makes the whole thing so much more seamless. And at the end of the day, that not only creates a better experience for the client, but it also creates a better end result for the client. And removing that level of distance between Black Sun and Stratton Craig has just been so sort of transformative for the way I work. Getting an idea of what Black Sun do and the various different aspects of and the crazy complexity that it takes to get a report to the finish line is just it's really given me an appreciation for just how long and complex these projects can be and my little part in it and how I can kind of really optimize the way I work to sort of fit in a bit more and kind of provide the best value for the client overall. But for me, I think the most important part of being a change maker is being ambitious and delivering excellence. And one thing that really struck me about People Made and Stratton Craig, and a similarity we have, is that we're quite small agencies, but we work with these global giant clients. I mean, if you look at People Made's case study page, it's ridiculous. But and that's for me is like it's a real example of like 1 + 1 = 3. It's like working in a way and collaborating in a way that kind of emphasizes our capabilities and magnifies them, and so we're able to like provide a service and an end result that rivals these huge global companies, and you can kind of see that as well in like the ambition and dedication to quality that Black Sun have. They have this global footprint and they work with some of the biggest sort of prestigious brands, and there's this real drive to sort of make every project better and always improve on what went before and not kind of rest on your laurels. And I just find that very inspiring, and for me that's kind of a core part of what it means to be a change maker, of always trying to drive yourself forward and bring your team with you, and yeah, just get better each time. Well, there have been lots of opportunities for me personally working in as part of Positive Change Group, but also for Stratton Craig. You know, for me personally, it's broken me out of my bubble, you know, both strategically and geographically. You know, I'm a remote worker. I live in the countryside, so, you know, being able to hang out at People Made's, you know, really cool Shoreditch office in between client meetings, or, you know, joining and participating in Black Sun events at the Clermont Hotel, or, you know, just hanging out at Fulham Palace. You know, it's so far it's really taking me places that I would otherwise not go, and it's refreshing to be able to come and talk to people and just, you know, be part of these events that I wouldn't necessarily normally be a part of. But it's also allowed me to get involved in projects and activities that I wouldn't otherwise be involved in. You know, being part of the AI committee for PCG, but also an AI champion, and being able to really actively contribute to the strategy of the group as a whole, and really, like, you know, share my expertise and my opinion, and work collaboratively with people to make sure that we're, you know, our AI strategy is suited for the market and what we want to achieve. That has been such a huge learning experience for me, and a really exciting one, and I'm you know, really excited to keep, you know, keep helping the group innovate and push ourselves forward. But I've also had a chance to, you know, I've joined pitches. I've represented both Stratton Craig and PCG on joint pitches. I've spoken at the forum, the group forum, in front of the whole group. I've run training webinars about various things, including AI. And, you know, just being able to represent both Stratton Craig and PCG in front of clients and the rest of the group is, you know, it's such an amazing opportunity. And, you know, I really feel like I'm learning a lot, you know, being challenged, but in a good way, and like learning with the support of you know, both people from Stratton Craig and PCG, learning how to do things that I, you know, just not outside my comfort zone, but just outside my job role. And just, if there are opportunities there to take them, then, you know, the attitude within the group is, why not go ahead and take them, and we'll support you as best as we can. And, you know, it's been very, very exciting. And, you know, when you kind of add the sort of PCG strategy on top of, like, really having a differentiated stakeholder engagement offering and being the kind of leader in that space, it's just very exciting. Not only sort of my own potential role within that, but how Stratton Craig can keep evolving, and how, you know, that joint evolution can just, you know, keep delivering amazing results for really, really great clients.